I've wanted to buy a fast printer for a long time now, so I designed one, tried upgrading another, but they were still kinda slow and extremely unreliable. So after seeing a modern fast looking 3D printer for $100, it was kinda hard to say no. I mean, it was a returned model, which is kinda worrying, but the company had pretty good reviews. Now, after the printer came to my house, the question is if buying this was the best decision of my life, or if I would forever regret it. Well, there's only one way to find out. This 3D printer comes from Artillery, which certainly has mixed reviews. Originally it costs around $200, but as you know, I was able to find a pretty good deal. Anyways, the Artillery Sidewinder X4 Pro features a 240 by 240mm bed, clipper, linear rails, auto leveling, 300 Celsius hot end, and yeah, that's pretty darn impressive for just $100. Unless I'm going to have to replace auto parts, cause well, the printer wasn't returned for no reason. Beside that, let's unpack. Well, I wonder how the customer before me left this printer. Well, what do we got here? Okay, I'm happy at least didn't get scammed. This is indeed the Sidewinder X4 Pro. Oh, we even got the leveling paper, so I don't need to waste my own paper. Well, I hope the only issue the customer before me had was like leveling the bed. Well, let's take everything out. Well, hopefully no part is missing, but yeah. Okay, I think I'm starting to see some issue. Can you see the camera? Kind of bent. If the only issue of this printer is, well, the front screen, then bro, $100 for a printer like this, then this feels like a robbery for Artillery. Okay, well, here is the main frame. Okay, the assembly should be pretty straightforward. This big piece goes onto this. Ooh, I even got like a spare nozzle. I mean, this one is actually kinda long though, especially compared to my like ender nozzle. I was able to find the 4 screws I need. Now I need a screwdriver. Alrighty, got the screwdriver. Let's screw.
Look at this dude. Wait till you see the...
Next comes the spool holder and the filament sensor. So it turns out I'm missing 2 screws. So I guess that's one minus for the return printer. I mean, for me it's chill, like I have a lot of leftover screws and stuff. This is the first sign. Imagine somebody returned this just because they were missing 2 screws. Well, I'm happy I at least had a screw reserve pack, unlike the guy that returned this printer. Alrighty, now that we got the first issue resolved, let's see what the next one will be. Alright, we can drop the box or just place it on the Ender 5. And now install this bracket. So somebody in the factory guy or the customer messed up the packaging. The packaging says these are M3 screws, but these are M4 screws, so they do not fit. That's one more reason. Yeah, I mean, they're just pranking. It says that these are M5 screws. These are definitely M3 screws. Okay, so it turns out these are M4 screws, not M3 screws. Now comes the screen. Look at this. Even the film you're supposed to peel away is still here, so that's a good sign. I'm just not so happy in that you can see the screen kind of broken. This goes in like this. This feels like an Ethernet port. Gotta of course have the Wi-Fi antenna. We've got to connect the runout sensor. And also the last one for the Z-axis. But yeah, I actually saw something. This printer has actually been printed with before, because the nozzle is slightly dirty. So that means that somebody has printed on it before. This feels like plugging in the RAM. Ooh, I actually think I found the issue. Do you see this stepper motor or actually stepper motor connector? It's kind of very broken, so I think maybe broken shipping or something. I think this was one of the reasons it was returned. I can also see that the pins are kind of slightly bent. What I'll try to do, bend the pins so that the connector actually fits in. Let's see if I succeed with that. Look at this. I was actually able to bend the pins so that this connector can actually fit in. I hope the connector will work well. If not, I'll have to probably replace the stepper motors. Okay, the next thing is going to mount the big old cable, and I have all the screws. So I'm really trying to screw in the screw right now, but I really just can't. I could. I just turned on the camera and then everything works. I've noticed one thing. This thing is kinda wobbly. I'm not too sure how that will impact the printer, but now from the carbon fiber looking like rods. Okay, it's starting to get legs, or actually more like support legs. I have quite the issue. As you can see, it's supposed to screw in, but it just slides through. And this isn't that good. Let's see the other side. It also just slides through right here. Is this really an M5 screw? Did I mess something up? Or, well, I have M6 screws, so let's try that. Well, M6 doesn't work. Did they mess something up in the factory? I mean, as I said before, there was a reason why this printer was returned. I mean, this is pretty bad if I can't get these parts onto it. Alright, so after using my low IQ brain for a while, the problem is that the screws just can't screw in because the factory workers forgot to thread hole or whatever. My plan is to unscrew the bottom, and then I should be able to get to where this part is supposed to screw in, and then I'll add a nut in between that I can screw this in. I hope my plan will work, and one very big problem. If I take this sticker off, I'm going to void the warranty. Alrighty, now I got access to the bottom, so this is pretty good. I may have access to the bottom, but I don't have access to this.
Are you serious right now, bro?
Because as you can see, well, you can't really see because the aluminium extrusion is pretty long. Or wait, I realize something now. I think I am actually low IQ. Because I took a longer screw, screwing in no problem. Well, the problem wasn't that the factory workers or anything like that. No. It was that the screw was too short. Well, at least I solved the problem. Alrighty, now this is working well. I only forgot one thing. The gasket in between.
A few minutes later.
Alright, this is pretty strong. Now, the exact same for the over one. Alrighty, now we can get the printer up back on its feet. Well, I guess now comes the moment of truth. Will the printer even turn on? And if it does, how well will it function? Well, as they say, this part is kinda wobbly, that's slightly worrying. But as they say, there's only one way to find out. Here goes nothing. Okay, the screen is booting up, but I messed up the direction. It's supposed to go like this. It's kind of stuck on the... Oh, wait, something's happening. Okay, Einstein. I don't understand German. Which should I press? Well, I mean, we do live in the 21st century. I can't just use, like, Google Translate. It was detected that a model was printed before the power outage. They want to continue printing? Hell no. I mean, the screen at least works, so that's a pretty good sign. Okay, I have to change the language. I really don't know any German. Okay, now English. Alright, now we're talking English. I mean, I know that my second biggest audience is like Germany, so shout out to Germany, I guess. I mean, I've been there a few times, but you know, more than a hello, I really don't know. And the Z, I was kind of worried about because, as you know, the connector was kind of messed up. Seems to also work. Alright, now it's homing. This is promising. Oh, bro, this is pretty fast homing speed though. My Ender 3 could never. Ender 3, you've got a lot to learn. Let's connect this printer to the internet. And my laptop is underneath all this garbage. And let's maybe just do a little cleanup. Alright, but before we connect the printer to the laptop, the instructions are telling me to calibrate the bed. And well, as we can see, somebody has already tried calibrating the bed for me. But you know what this means? This means that the Z stepper motor right here worked before this. So my fear was maybe that like the person before me couldn't level the bed, so he got so extremely mad he just took a hammer and just cut it. Or maybe not, who knows. I mean, this printer is pretty quiet. Listen to this. it's a lot quieter than my Ender 5, Ender 3, the Core XY I designed. Oh, if you're interested in seeing me converting an Ender 3 to Core XY for $110, I recommend watching that video up there. I mean, the calibration is pretty nice. I mean, you know, you got your screen and everything, simpler than the Ender 3 where you got to move the whole tool head around and adjust the knobs and everything. You still got to adjust the knobs on this printer. Guess we ain't got no bamboo lamp luxuries. Okay, Chinese, don't spy on me, please. Oh, this ain't English or German. Okay, so I have one more theory. The original customer got scared that the Chinese government was spying on me. Let's choose some filament. Here are some completely new filament. Right there, we've got some filament that I got what built as an internship at a 3D printing place. So let's maybe use the red. And this is PLA, if you're wondering. Alright, well, let's actually see what Chinese government is trying to do by translating. Collecting 81 compensation values. I'm pretty happy I have experience with other 3D printers. I know what it means by 81. It's supposed to probe 81 times on the bed. It's not doing it. Well, let's maybe instead of doing stuff on the screen, let's connect it to Wi-Fi. I guess bed leveling is an universal issue with all printers. All of these printers I have in this room, like I've had issues with the leveling, aka all Ender printers. Wi-Fi connection success. I mean, beside the bed leveling, my most common 3D printing issue is Wi-Fi connections. I even had those when I was working with like big kind of ish commercial 3D printers. Oh, it uses fluid. I usually use mainsail on my other printers, but guess this is something new for me. Alrighty, the fans are going, and this is indeed like a direct drive, so no like filament motors or whatever on this side. Instead of it going like 81 times, let's make it go like 25. Alright, so I had problems with, for a second I thought the homing wasn't working, but there's like 5 different options on how to home the printer. I had lots of issues, but after chatting a little bit with ChatGPT, I just had to change some settings in the config and it works like a charm. Alrighty, look at this, it's working! So, I guess the like internet's opinion on that you have to do a little bit of work to get a 3D printer running is true. Wow, hey, this does not look very good. I'll have to do some manual bed leveling knobs. This is like the print history. This is super interesting. You can actually see what the person before me had printed. I mean, it looks to be mainly just like some random stuff, you know, nothing interesting. This printer has totally 2.5 hours time. For $100, people sell like used Ender 3s, and this for $100. Bro, this is a steal. Yeah, I mean, it's just like benches and stuff. Who doesn't love just leveling their bed? And alright, this is looking a lot better. Now, this is what I call acceptable. Guess now comes the final test. Let's insert tool onto it, see how well it will print. I mean, this printer is pretty nice, cause wait, look at this. This is pretty cool though. Red, green, red, green, red, green. I mean, I hope the filament isn't like super wet, because it was unpacked for a very long time. Okay. So the person before me used the white filament. Alright, now my own filament is coming out. Well, let's print a good old benchy and let's see how well it performs. And well, let's get this printer printing at 300 milliseconds a second if I achieve those speeds. Alright, and now after printing, the quality looks subpar. I mean, it could be better. So I'm going to try and calibrate it to get so now. Let's make the print quality amazing. Oh no, I guess this is the printer's first fail. Or maybe the customer before me also had some. Why did this happen? Well, that's kind of sad. I think it like loosened from the plate. I think I should have like a higher bed temperature. And that nozzle should be maybe slightly lower. Alrighty, after trying to do quite some high-speed printing, you know, like 300 milliseconds a second, the printer skipped steps, as you can see. So my theory is that it mainly happened on the Z-axis, and the Z-axis belt is slightly looser than the x-axis belt. Or I mean, this is the y-axis belt. If I tighten the belt, hopefully I'll fix this issue. Yeah, tightening the belt seems to solve the problem. Now with this is fast. Well, I hope the quality will be as amazing as the speed. Bench it turned out really well. I mean, there is some stringing and some quality loss, but let's just calibrate it a little bit more. Well, now, after doing lots of calibrations to squeeze out all the performance and get it printing to top-notch quality, to where it's able to print as fast as any bamboo at like the same quality. And remember, I just paid roughly 100 bucks for this printer. An A1 Mini costs 200 and you only get a 100 by 100 millimeter bed. This ulterior printer is a 230 by 230 millimeters. That's even more than my upgraded Ender. Also, I don't see any major need for any upgrades as with like the Enders. But if you do have any suggestions for upgrades, drop them in the comments. If I had to upgrade something, it would probably be the cooling, because even though I was able to improve it a lot for it to go from this to this, there's still some improvements to be made. And I made this video to see for myself if buying sketchy return printers is worth it, and it is. So, to all of those saying never buy returned or used printers, I completely disagree. I mean, this does make the title a little clickbaity, because I said I regretted artillery printers. But it was all on purpose, to get people to buy artillery. Nah, just joking, I'm no Chinese, but... So yeah, now that this printer is working, I'm planning to use it for 3D printing PC cases that I have designed. If you're interested in checking that out, press on the info card in the top right corner. Look, the Banshee has finished printing. Also, if you're interested in seeing me upgrade a completely broken 3D printer where the PL touch was completely skewed and the main board was like glitching and just so many more issues, then turning it into a crazy speed monster, then watch this video.